Can you talk about the red flag list that you independently decided to start kind of documenting for yourself?
Yeah. Um, so I think in order to really understand that, I want people to understand my own my own education. So
Okay.
my undergrad is in cultural anthropology and my master's degree is in clinical research management. And clinical research management is a degree that is highly focused on data, collecting data, data sets. Obviously, it's about, research is supposed to be ethically based and consented into and all those things. But to me, data is what science is supposed to be about. And so it was getting to the point where we were raising these concerning patients to the clinicians in team meetings, and it would be one patient here and one patient here and one patient here. And it reached the point where if we can't capture, if we can capture this as a data set and as a larger data understanding, then maybe the more science-minded people will start to see this for what it is. And it also became a place where I felt like I knew I wasn't leaving those patients behind. So we would bring up the patient and we would express our concerns. And as a multidisciplinary team, we would say, we don't believe that this patient is a good candidate to move forward. And then we would be overridden in the multidisciplinary team, and then they would be given a prescription anyway. And then in essence, there were so many patients, we just had to move on to the next one and the next one. And I felt like I was leaving those kids behind and I was going to forget about them. And I didn't want to forget about them. And so there was this way to if the only thing I could do at that time was write their name down somewhere and acknowledge in some place that I saw you and I saw that we were probably going to hurt you. And I don't want to forget that we're going to hurt you. So we would write their name down and put a little blurb and just this little thing about how to remember them. And then that list grew the list of detransitioners. And it also was this similar way where it was they were just going to get lost. There were just so many patients. They were just coming in waves and there were so many of them. I just didn't want those individual people to get lost forever in the shuffle. And I didn't know at the time that there was going to be anything I could do about it. But I just felt like if the very least that we can do in that moment is just acknowledge them for the person that they are and try to remember that they exist, that we were going to do that.
And do you,
And I'm sorry,
no, it's very moving and it's very, very genuine. I just think it must be an extraordinary thing to go through because effectively you moved from we're saving trans kids or something like that to biting your lip thinking this isn't a good system, it's not being well run, to, oh my God, I think we're harming kids.
Yeah.
That was your, do you remember any moment that you kind of crossed the Rubicon into, I don't believe this is fundamentally right for these kids?
There were many. It felt like I kept drawing a line in the sand that okay, it can't get any worse. This is my line, and and there's no way that it could cross over this. There's no way. There's no way we're going to say, yeah, let's give hormones to this kid who believes they have multiple personalities and are saying out loud that some of their personalities are not even trans. There's no way we're going to do this, right? And then we would do this. And then there's no way we're going to start a young person in a locked down sex offender residency we're not going to do this. We're not. And it just kept feeling like every ethical line I drew was just walked on and walked on and walked on. And there were conversations where I had conversations with these doctors and I said, we are hurting people. We are hurting people. And and what's kind of sickening is it wasn't necessarily that their response was, oh no, we're not hurting them. It was, well, what do you want me to do about it? How can we can't, it was almost like they were saying, like, this system is set up that's so broken anyway, that it was almost like they couldn't even see a way out. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just start saying no to all these kids who want these things?